Protect what was placed inside you. There is something precious living within you, something that did not come from noise, fear, or circumstances, but was deposited intentionally and carefully. This season has weight. It is not light. It is filled with difficult days, heavy information, constant alerts, and voices that insist on predicting loss, collapse, and failure. Everything around you tries to press your emotions, to exhaust your mind, to wear down your hope. Yet even in the middle of this pressure, there is something within you that must not be touched, contaminated, or negotiated. You are living in a time where information never rests. Messages arrive even when you did not ask for them. Conversations are filled with fear. Screens display bad news without pause. Predictions about economy, politics, and the future circulate endlessly, and all of it has power to destabilize your inner world if you allow it. This is why there must be order inside you, even when everything outside feels chaotic. If you do not intentionally guard what is inside your heart, you risk losing a battle without ever stepping onto the field. There are things within you that cannot be corrupted, because if they are, you stop moving forward without realizing it. What was placed inside you was not given to be exposed to every voice, every opinion, every negative report. Difficult seasons have an ability to make people forget what they were carrying. Pressure does not always steal directly. Sometimes it only convinces you to doubt. Nothing external can destroy what was placed inside you, but voices can weaken your confidence in it. That is how loss begins, not by destruction, but by disbelief. There were people who walked through extraordinary experiences, who witnessed provision, protection, and direction over many years, yet when fears spoke loudly enough, they forgot everything they had lived. They stood on the edge of fulfillment, holding something that had been promised long ago, and allowed a few fearful voices to overwrite years of certainty. The environment did not change the promise. The promise did not fail. What failed was the protection of the heart. You must understand this clearly. When you allow what is happening around you to be mixed with what was spoken over you, you begin to question what was never meant to be questioned. Small difficulties become excuses to let go of what you were holding. Any inconvenience starts to feel like proof that nothing will happen. This is how people slowly release what they should have guarded with everything they had. There will be moments when everyone around you is anxious, loud, overwhelmed, reacting emotionally, and you will feel out of place because you are quiet. Your calm will look strange. Your silence will confuse others. But inside you, something will be reminding you of what must not be forgotten. While others panic, you remember. While others shout, you protect. While others surrender to despair, you hold on. That quiet is not weakness. It is awareness. At some point, protecting what is inside you will require distance. There are conversations you must leave. There are voices you must refuse to hear. There are messages you must not allow to enter your mind. Not because you are unaware of reality, but because before any report about your life, there is something greater that was already established. You are not called to be a carrier of bad news. You are a carrier of what was spoken over you. Be careful not to become someone who spreads fear while trying to feel informed. Words have weight. What you repeat shapes what you believe. When you echo negativity, you poison yourself first. When you constantly rehearse what is going wrong, you train your heart to expect failure. Protect your mouth, your eyes, your ears, your home, your inner environment. Do not let despair from the outside dictate what happens on the inside. Some people will not move forward, not because what was promised failed, but because they chose to trust other voices more than what was placed within them at the beginning. That is a painful reality. Many stop just before fulfillment, not due to lack of opportunity, but due to loss of conviction. Yet there are those who carry a different spirit, a different way of seeing, one that is not governed by fear, doubt, or collective panic. They move forward because they protected what they were given, even when time passed and conditions looked unfavorable. Time does not cancel what was placed inside you. Delay does not erase it. Opposition does not invalidate it. What matters is whether you allow fear to convince you to abandon it. There will be moments when you must stand almost alone, believing quietly, holding firmly, refusing to let external chaos enter your inner world. If you protect what is inside you, you protect your future. Because what you are carrying was never meant to be handled lightly. There are moments when believing will cost you comfort, when trusting what was placed inside you will require courage to stand against the emotional climate around you. This is where many give up, not because they stopped believing entirely, but because they stopped protecting. Little by little, they let fear speak louder. Little by little, They allowed doubt to sit beside what should have been kept sacred. And without noticing, they loosened their grip. You need to understand something deeply now. There are seasons when isolation is not weakness, it is wisdom. Stepping away from certain conversations is not arrogance, it is survival. Choosing silence over reaction is not denial, it is maturity. If you stay exposed to everything, you will eventually be shaped by everything. But if you guard what is inside you, you remain anchored even when everything else shifts. There are times when you will have to appear unreasonable to others just to remain faithful to what you carry. People may call it denial, optimism without logic, or even foolishness. Let them. They are reacting to what they see. You are responding to what you know. You are not ignoring reality. You are refusing to let reality define your inner world. You are choosing to believe that what was placed inside you still stands, unchanged, unmoved, intact. Notice how fear works. It does not always scream. Sometimes it whispers through repeated conversations, endless analysis, constant exposure to negativity. It slowly adjusts your expectations downward. It teaches you to settle emotionally before anything has even happened. That is why you must be intentional. When a conversation turns destructive, leave. When information begins to poison your peace, disconnect. When voices try to pull you into despair, close the door. This is not avoidance. This is protection. What you are carrying does not need constant explanation. It needs preservation. Not everyone deserves access to what lives inside you. Some people will only trample it because they cannot understand it. Guard it quietly. Hold it firmly. Let time do its work while you remain steady. There will come a moment when everything aligns, when what you protected finally has room to manifest. And in that moment, you will realize that the waiting was not wasted, the silence was not empty, and the protection was necessary. You will see that while others were consumed by panic, you were being preserved. While others were distracted, you were being prepared. Do not underestimate the power of simply holding on. If you have what was placed inside you, you have everything you need. Even if the year feels heavy, even if uncertainty surrounds you, even if nothing seems to make sense right now, what you are carrying is enough. It will prevail. It will stand. It will not fail, as long as you do not abandon it. So stay intentional. Stay alert. Stay grounded. Protect your heart. Protect your emotions. Protect what was placed inside you with all your strength, because peace is not found by controlling everything around you, but by guarding what lives within you. And as you remain here, holding steady, let this settle deeper inside you. What truly defines this season is not the noise outside, but the posture you choose inside. Fear will keep trying to rush you, to force decisions, to make you react instead of discern. But what you carry was never meant to be rushed. It was meant to be guarded until the right moment, protected until the right time, preserved until it could stand on its own. There will be days when nothing changes on the outside, yet something strengthens on the inside. Do not despise those days. They are not empty. They are forming endurance, clarity, and conviction. While others measure life only by visible results, you are learning to value what is being built where no one can see. That inner stability will matter more than anything when pressure increases. You are not responsible for controlling the environment, the economy, the opinions of others, or the direction of the world. You are responsible for what you allow to shape your heart. That is where your authority lies. When you understand this, you stop wasting energy trying to fix everything around you and start investing fully in protecting what was entrusted to you. Even if everything says it is not the right time, even if voices insist that the season is wrong, even if circumstances suggest delay or loss, remember this: nothing external has the power to cancel what was placed inside you. Only abandonment can do that. As long as you keep it guarded, it remains alive, active, and ready. There will be moments when you must believe quietly, without applause, without agreement, without reassurance. Those moments are sacred. They are proof that what you carry is not dependent on validation. It stands on its own. And one day, what you protected in silence will speak louder than all the noise you refuse to hear. So continue forward with intention. Choose peace over panic. Choose protection over exposure. Choose remembrance over forgetting. What you carry matters more than you realize, and guarding it is not optional, it is essential. Let this awareness remain active within you as you move forward. Protecting what you carry is not a single decision, it is a daily posture. Every day you choose what you will allow to influence you and what you will refuse to absorb. Every day you decide whether fear will have access to your inner world or whether what was placed inside you will remain untouched. You will notice that when you guard your heart intentionally, your reactions change. Situations that once shook you will no longer have the same power. Voices that once confused you will lose their authority. Not because problems disappear, but because what lives inside you has been preserved. And when what is inside you is intact, the outside cannot dominate you. Understand this clearly. Despair spreads easily, but so does conviction. Fear is contagious, but so is calm. When you protect what you carry, you do not only preserve yourself, you quietly influence the atmosphere around you. Your steadiness becomes a boundary. Your peace becomes resistance. Your silence becomes strength. There will still be pressure. There will still be uncertainty. But now you know what must be guarded at all costs. You know that forgetting is more dangerous than delay. You know that exposure without protection leads to erosion. And you know that holding on, even quietly, is an act of courage. So remain vigilant, be selective, be intentional. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves a response. Not every report deserves a place in your heart. What you are protecting is worth far more than momentary relief or emotional release. And when the moment comes, when what you carried finally stands in front of you, you will understand why guarding it mattered so much. You will see that peace was never about the absence of trouble, but about the presence of something greater within you that you refuse to let go of. And even now, as you keep listening, this is part of that protection. You are choosing what enters you. You are choosing to remain instead of rushing away, to reflect instead of reacting. That choice itself is evidence that what was placed inside you is still alive. People who have already let go do not linger. They move on quickly, distracted, numb. But you stayed because something within you recognizes truth when it hears it. What you are living through may still look uncertain. The weight of the year may still feel real. Conversations around you may still be filled with fear, predictions, and pressure. None of that changes the responsibility you carry now. You know that if you allow constant exposure, you will slowly forget. You know that if you stop guarding your inner world, you will begin to negotiate what should never be negotiated. That awareness changes everything. From here on, protection becomes intentional. You notice when peace starts to leak. You recognize when your thoughts are no longer aligned with what you carry. You sense when fear is trying to sit where conviction should remain. And instead of arguing, instead of explaining yourself, instead of trying to convince anyone, you simply close the door. You choose silence. You choose distance. You choose preservation. This is not about pretending things are easy. It is about refusing to let difficulty erase what was spoken within you. It is about remembering, again and again, that forgetting is the real danger. That is why those who move forward are not always the strongest, the loudest, or the most informed. They are the ones who protected what they were given, even when time passed, even when others doubted, even when nothing seemed to move. What you carry does not need urgency. It needs faithfulness. It needs patience. It needs a guarded heart. And if you do this, if you truly protect what was placed inside you, there will come a day when the waiting makes sense, when the silence proves its value, when the peace you fought to preserve becomes your greatest testimony. And let this become clearer the longer you remain here. What is at stake is not a moment, it is a direction. When you protect what was placed inside you, you are protecting the path of your life. Many people lose direction not because they chose wrong roads, but because they allowed their inner compass to be damaged. Too many voices, too much fear, too much noise, and suddenly they no longer remember why they started, what they were carrying, or where they were going. You are learning that not every voice deserves space. Some voices only exist to generate chaos, confusion, and discouragement. When you give them access, they do not inform you, they infect you. That is why there are moments when you must decisively shut things down. Not tomorrow, not later. The moment you perceive that peace is being threatened, you step away.